Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the IELTS Speaking Mastery. This is me, 𝐻𝐻𝐬𝐬𝐢𝐧𝐠 joining you from Nita's Academy. Yes, we've come with yet another speaking live to help you with your speaking. So how are you all doing, and how is your practice going? That is the most important question. Since the time we started this live, I've been telling you that I'm your accountability partner. You have to let me know about how your practice is going. And so that you would have this feeling that you have to tell somebody what you did and you would practice better, or you would practice really well. So how did your practice go? Did you all practice really well? And for speaking, practice is very important. Speaking practice is as important as your reading or all other practice, because speaking requires a lot of effort, okay? You have to put in so much effort to improve your speaking, and you have to practice your speaking almost every day. Not as important as your reading or other modules. I would say it is more important than the other modules, because most of you actually struggle with your speaking, fluency, vocabulary, and all other things, coherence and pronunciation and things like that. So we need to work on each of these things, for which practice is very important. So just let me know in the comments how you're all doing and how your practice went, and are you facing any problems while practicing? If you're facing any problems while practicing, just let me know in the comments. I will help you with that. So in the previous live, what we did was part 1 of the speaking module, and today in this live we'll be doing part 2 and part 3. So I've taken few questions and we'll be discussing those questions, and the methods and strategies that I've shared with you is already in your mind, I guess. If it's not, I'll repeat it for you, and if you think those things are not working for you, just let me know. I'll find some other methods for you to help you speak better. Okay, so shall we begin? Shall we begin today's session? Let me know in the comments. Yes, I'm waiting for your comments. Okay, so we'll start with the first question. The first question will be displayed on the screen. You will be able to see the question on the screen, and I will read the question. You will be giving you a few minutes to just think about it, and then you can answer those questions in the comments. And I'll also be explaining how to answer those questions and what strategies to follow, what methods to follow, and things like that. Okay? Yes. So the first question is, yes, Clarina Fernandez, hi, hello, so happy to see you here. How are you all doing? Are you all doing great? Yes. So we'll begin with the first question. The first question will be displayed on the screen. Describe, the question is, I'll read the question for you before you see it. Describe a uniform you wear or you wore at school or company. When you wear it, who bought it for you? What does it look like? How do you feel about it? Okay? Yes, you're able to see the question on the screen. Try to answer it. This time, I'm not explaining the question first. I want you to answer this question in your own way. Take some time and try to answer this. Yes. Okay, so what is the first thing you do? You look at the main question. The task is to answer the main question, which is describe a uniform you wear or you wore at school or company. So here, what are the keywords? Uniform, wear, school, company. These are the keywords. Okay? Now, what do? For an introduction, you need an introduction, body, and conclusion. That's what you need for your speaking part to answer. For an introduction, you'll select one of these words and you will speak on it. You'll say 2 or 3 sentences with it. So imagine I'm going to talk about uniform. Okay, so here you can talk about uniform for 2 sentences, in 2 sentences. You can talk about uniform in 2 sentences. What can you say? So just put that sentence in the comments. I'm going to split it, fragment or piece method. Do you remember that from the previous lives? Yes, piece or fragment method, where we cut the whole question into teeny weeny pieces so that it would be easy for you to answer. Yes, just say that sentence with uniform. Okay, so I'll say 2 sentences with uniform for you. You can say things like, many schools and companies have uniform, and it is mandatory that the employees or the students wear uniform almost every day. And I think uniforms in school are very much essential for the students because it teaches them about the importance of unity and equality, and it gives them a sense of unity, and it teaches them about equality and things like that. But for companies, I still haven't understood why they give uniforms to their employees. They might have their own reasons for that. But I remember the time. From that, I'm taking myself to when I wore uniform. Okay? Were you able to connect those 2 sentences? I'm not writing those 2 sentences. Sometimes I come with lives where I write these sentences and show you. And sometimes I come without writing those sentences because I want you to be equipped to say sentences on your own rather than by hearting few sentences that you see. Okay, so when you hear that, you'll have some kind of thoughts in your head and your mind will actually try to mimic it or imitate it. And when you reproduce it, you might use different words for it. So that becomes your answer and you'll be able to reproduce the same answer for your exam. But when you see an answer, a written answer on you by heart, and you try to reproduce it, you'll forget some words and it won't be your answer and it wouldn't sound natural. And your fluency would be affected if you forget a single word. Okay? So, is that point clear to everyone? Just let me know in the comments. Okay. Okay, so what were we talking about? Uniform. Uniform is very important in some schools and companies. It is mandatory in many schools and many companies, and the students and employees are required to wear uniforms. And in school, I think it's very essential because it teaches students about equality and also gives them a sense of unity. I still haven't understood why companies have uniforms for their employees or why they ask their employees to wear uniforms. They might have some reasons of their own, but whatever it be, I remember the time when I wore a uniform. That was when I was in 5th grade. I was super excited to wear uniform that year because though we had uniform almost every year. So I'm explaining when I wore. And the next step, what we do is we rearrange. I hope you remember these steps and methods that I told you in the previous live. What we do after explaining, after giving the first 2 sentences, you rearrange the cues according to how the story goes. So for me, I first explained uniform, and then I moved on to when I wear it, when I wore it. I wore it when I was in fifth grade, but I remember the time when I wore a uniform. That was when I was in fifth grade. I had been. So when you say something that happened, started in the past and that ended in the past, so you would use the word I had been. I had been wearing uniform till fifth grade, but when I wore uniform in the fifth grade, that was very special because that was the time when the school management changed the design of our uniform. Earlier, it was pants and shirt, even for girls, with black and white color. But they changed it to pinafore and shirt when I was in fifth grade. That was a beautiful experience to wear a pinafore and a shirt. So the pinafore was something that looked like a frock. It looked more like a frock, but without sleeves. So, and you would wear the shirt inside, so you'd be able to see some portions of the shirt when you wear the pinafore on top of it. So also the pinafore had box pleats. My pinafore, I still remember the number of pleats I had in my uniform because I counted it because I was so curious and excited. I was so curious to know how many box pleats were there in my pinafore, and I was so excited to wear that and to feel it and to count it and like completely experience that uniform. So my uniform actually had 5 box pleats in it, and my pinafore had 5 box pleats in it. And the most exciting thing about that was I had a pocket in it that was like a seamless pocket, and it was like, no, it was a hidden pocket, and no one would be able to spot that pocket, but we would feel that we can use that pocket. That's how that pocket was, and the pinafore would be knee length, and we would wear socks and shoes as well. So this is how it went. And we also had a tie, which had to be tied along with the shirt, and an ID card and an emblem of the school on the pinafore. So that's how the pinafore was. You know what I just did? I was explaining the cube. What does it look like? And by this time, I didn't turn the timer on. My time must have been over. Okay, so I would just try to, if I already know the calculation of the time, I'm sure my time must have been over. So I would just conclude it saying it was such a beautiful experience that I don't think I would ever be able to forget that pinafore and the shirt and the day I wore it and the first day I wore it and everything. I'm concluding it like that. So here you might ask me, but you didn't answer how you feel about it. I did answer it in between that I was super excited, happy, curious. I used all those words to explain that as well. Okay, so this is how you build up an answer. 𝐶𝐵HIGA, Ajit, hi. 𝐺𝐕H, Shanoj, good evening. Just try to answer the first 2 sentences with uniform. 𝐶𝐵HIGA and 𝐺𝐕H, Shanoj. Or if you try to answer this question in your own way. So now after listening to the answer, you might have gotten an idea about what to say and how to put words together, how to put together your ideas. For me, you know what I always tell my students is that you focus on your fluency. What students do is they try to learn all the new words in the world, okay? And then they don't remember a single word when they answer the question. It's of no use. You focus on the words you already know. I think I explained this in IELTS elucidation. I remember explaining this in IELTS elucidation. I want to repeat this in IELTS speaking mastery just to let you know the importance of working on your fluency. So first, what you have to improve is you speak with the words you already know, and you'll get stuck and see how you would manage it with the words you already know. Words that you already know are like so many. Words you already know are 100, but the words that you always use would be 25. Did you get that point? What I'm trying to say is you have 100 words in your brain. I mean, this is just an example. You have 100 words in your brain, and then you're using 25 words only. Okay, words like in, act, on, uniform, wear, describe, words like that. You're just using 25 words. But there's a few other words that you already know. That means when you hear that word, you'll be able to understand what that word means. Okay, this is what that word means. You will be able to understand that. Reluctant, the word reluctant. So you don't use it in your speech all the time, but you know it means unwilling. Okay, those kind of words, just make sure you use those words in your speaking. Okay, so speak to yourself, speak to your friends, speak and record yourself, speak and take a video of yourself. Do all these things and use these words and force yourself to use those words, those 75 words. Let those words be the new words you learn. That would help you have better fluency, better vocabulary. Yes, instead of using the word unwilling, if you're using the word reluctant, you would definitely get better score for your vocabulary. And that's the word you already know, and you don't have to put an extra effort. And that's already there. So you just have to practice and put it in use and use it. That's all you have to do. So focus on your fluency. And when you're focusing on your fluency, automatically your grammar, your vocabulary, your pronunciation, these things would automatically improve because you need to have better vocabulary to be fluent, and grammar. If you don't have grammar, you wouldn't sound fluent and proper grammar. So you have to have vocabulary. If you don't have words, you wouldn't be able to speak fluently. That flow wouldn't come. So vocabulary has to be improved. So these are the 4 assessment criteria, right? Fluency and coherence, lexical resource, which is your vocabulary, grammatical range and accuracy, and pronunciation. And focus on the words that you're mispronouncing. Ask your trainer about the words that you're mispronouncing and focus on those words and learn it. How do you improve the pronunciation of a word? So if you're planning to follow the British pronunciation, learn that pronunciation only. If you're planning to focus on American pronunciation, just focus on that. Or if you're planning to speak in Indian English, that is also perfectly fine. You'll still get the same marks. So you Google that word and you learn the pronunciation. You click on pronunciation, for example, reluctant pronunciation, you want to know that. So you click reluctant pronunciation and there you learn the pronunciation. Indian or American or British, you can select the accents and you learn the pronunciation. Is it clear? Am I making myself clear to everyone? Say yes or no in the comments. Yes, we have new students joining. Anju Eldo, good evening. Cynthia Maria, Swapna Sabu, good evening. All of you, so happy to see you all here. Make sure that you comment your answers and you interact in this live. Only then it becomes interesting for you and for me. Because when you say an answer, that's when I correct it for you in the live, the biggest advantage is that you wouldn't forget that answer ever. Because you were doing it on a public platform and that's how you learned it. So that answer would be there in your mind for such a long time. Is it clear? So that is an advantage of typing comments in the comment section as answers. Okay. So shall we move on to the next question? So after part 2, what questions do we have? We have part 3 questions. What questions do we have? Part 3 questions. For part 3, what is asked? You'll have questions based on your part 2 question. Okay? And you have to answer them in 3 to 4 sentences. Is it clear? So shall we begin that? Those are simple answers. So make sure you answer those questions. And you can use synonyms. You can use paraphrasing of the words that are already in the question. Things like that. Okay? Yes. First question. So these questions are going to be on uniforms, right? Describe a uniform you wear at school, and that is what it is going to be on. Why should students wear uniform? You'll be able to see the question on the screen soon. Why should students wear uniforms? You know, for this question, we say you have to use synonyms for the words in the question when you answer. But for this question, just look at it. Students wear uniforms. For students, we cannot think of a good synonym. I'm talking about a good synonym that's exactly the same as students. Wear. Again, difficult to find one. Uniforms. In that case, what will we do? Will we do and use something similar to these words in our answers? Would we do that? No. We'll use these words, but we'll change the order of these words and we'll present it in a different way. Okay, presentation would be a bit different. So try to answer this question, all of you. 𝐀𝐝𝐦𝐬𝐢𝐧, 𝗁𝐺𝐵HA, 𝐶𝐻𝑎𝑛𝑜, 𝐴𝑛𝑗𝑢, 𝐿𝑑𝑜, Cynthia Maria, Swapna Sabu. Just try it. How will you answer this? Okay, so I'll answer this question for you. You can say something like, students should wear uniforms. So you can start it like that. Or it is pivotal that students wear uniforms in school because it teaches them about, okay, you can, or it is must that students wear uniforms in school, at school, or their college. Students could be in college and school as well, right? It is a must thing that students wear uniforms at school or college because it teaches them about equality and it creates a sense of unity among the students. So that's why it's really important for students to wear uniforms in school. See how I presented it? I used the word wear, but instead of should, I used the word must. It is must that students wear uniforms in school and college because it creates a sense of unity. It fosters equality in students, which is very important as far as students are concerned. Clear? Yes. Very good. 𝐴𝑛𝑗𝑢, 𝐿𝑑𝑜, it gives more discipline. It fosters discipline. Or it imparts discipline in the students. It gives us a basic word. So use this word. Note down in your diary. It imparts discipline or it fosters discipline in students. Is it clear? Okay. Likewise, just answer all the questions, okay? Let's move on to the next question. On what occasion should people wear uniforms? Try to answer this question in a sentence. Yes, I'm waiting for your answers. Okay, so I don't think people have to wear or people should be wearing. People have to. I changed should to have to. Okay? I don't think people have to wear uniforms on particular occasions because it would be a waste of money to buy a uniform just for an occasion. And it would be better if they rather bought it for everyday purposes, like for their company or for their school or something like that. Yes? It would be better if they rather bought it to wear every day, like when they go to school or when they go to their company, etc. rather than, oh, we used that before. So this is how you present that answer. Do you have any answer? Should I wait for any answer? It helps to identify the uniqueness. So I think, see, here is the problem. Now when I see your answer, Anju, what I feel is you're trying to give me points, which is fine, which is good. Only if you have points, you'll be able to present your answer. But as far as your IELTS speaking is concerned, what is more important is how you present your answer. Your presentation is important. When we talk about dishes, we say that presentation is also important and the taste is also important. But here, both are equally important. But in here, presentation is more important than the content, because you don't have marks for content. It's just that you need to have a content. You need to have some points, because if you don't have points, you wouldn't be able to present it. So you need points just for the sake of presentation. Other than that, your points are going to be of no use. So I want to see, it helps to identify the uniqueness, whether it be an employee or a staff. Are you answering the second question? On what occasion should people wear uniforms? People even wear uniforms when they go for some kind of functions and stuff like that. They buy uniforms for that as well. So they're asking, on what occasion should people wear uniforms? So you can say, I don't think people should be wearing uniforms on particular occasions, because it would be a waste of money to buy uniforms just for a particular occasion. It would be better if they rather bought uniforms for everyday purposes for their school or company. Okay, try to answer it like that. Okay. Shall we move on to the next question? Try to answer this question. Should companies ask employees about the design of their uniforms? Should companies ask? But Anju, I totally appreciate your effort in typing in that answer. Very good. Answer this question. Should companies ask employees about the design of their uniforms? Answer. So this is how you can answer this question. I personally think it would be great if companies seek the suggestion of their workers about the design of the uniforms, because that can help the company make uniforms that are really comfortable for the employees, and that would also create a sense of ownership in the employees, because they feel like they're wearing the uniform that is designed by them, so that would create a sense of ownership in them, and they would wear it with pride. And so I think it would be great if companies seeked suggestions and opinions from their employees or workers regarding the design of their uniform. Is that part clear? Do you want me to repeat anything? So instead of ask, I'm using the word seek the suggestion of the employees. I'm using the word workers. About the design, that word, I'm using the same word, their uniforms. For companies also, I'm using the word companies. All right. You don't have to change each and every word, but try to change as many words as possible to show the range of vocabulary you have. Shall we move on to the next question? Yes, Anju has an answer. Yes, when we involve the staff for designing. Okay, so you're saying a yes. I think it would also be great if you write something like, yes, I think, because this is a question asking your opinion, right? So, or I believe that employees or workers should be asked about their opinion when it comes to the design of their uniforms. Okay, that can also be added. Yes, when we involve the staff for, yes, staff, that is a good usage. For designing, comma, it helps the employees to get a respect as well as their involvement makes them happy. Also, they are one who is wearing the uniform. Your ideas are good. I don't know if it is because you're typing in the answers that you're not able to articulate it properly and communicate your ideas properly. You do have a problem with your coherence, okay? So you should work on that. You can answer this question like this. Okay, if I were to edit your answer, I would say, yes, I think it's important that, or I think it's better, I think it would be great. You can use any of these words. So yes, I think it would be great if the companies asked their staff, because that is the word you used, ask their staff about the design of their uniforms. You know, you're mentioning that part again using some synonyms. Because, and then you're putting because, it would make the employees feel that they're respected. Okay, that is one point you're mentioning. And the involvement in designing their own uniform would make them happy and proud as well. Okay, also they are the one who are wearing them, so they should be definitely part of the designing process. Okay, this should have been a better answer. Your points are great, but the way you put it together should have been better that way. Shamal Koshi, did you understand, Anju? Do you want me to help you with something else as well in that answer? If it is not clear, or if you think why I changed it, you can ask me. Shamal Koshi, yes, I believe that the company should ask their employees. See, ask is already there, so seek the employees their suggestion. But this is nice. Yes, I believe that the company should ask their employees' opinion about the designs. Okay, this sentence is well and good, except you could have changed employees to workers or staff, anything, something like that. So I believe that the company should ask their employees' opinion. Employees apostrophe. So since it's speaking, it doesn't matter, but still I'm helping you with that. I believe that the company should ask. I believe that the company should seek the suggestion of the employees, or should seek the employees' opinion about the designs. That would be better. I believe that the company should, or companies, I believe that the companies should seek the employees' opinion about the designs, because everybody is having their own comfort and priorities. So they will be very proud to wear the uniform. Because they will be able to incorporate their desires, not desires, they'll be able to incorporate their needs and into the design while it's being designed. You can add something like that, and they can make comfortable clothes. Okay, so and also you can write also that they will be very proud to wear them because it is designed by them. Okay, very good. But anyways, I totally appreciate both of your efforts in typing in the answer. Very good. Good job, guys. So now shall we move on to, likewise, you should answer the remaining questions as well. Okay? And we'll learn it together. We'll move on to the next question. Can people tell someone's personality by his or her clothes. Here for tell someone's personality, judge someone's personality. We can say judge someone's character or personality. Or judge one's personality by her dressing, by the way they dress. These are the synonyms you can use. Use these words and form an answer. Shamal and Anju. Answer. I'm waiting for your answers. Okay, so we can answer this question saying, I don't think we can judge and tell someone's personality or character by looking at the way they're dressed, by looking at how they're dressed, because people dress depending upon their mood or how they're feeling that particular day. So they would look different on each day depending on what has been going on in their life or what they're planning to do that day and things like that. So it's really difficult to come to a conclusion by looking at someone's dressing. Is it clear? I think it's very difficult to understand someone's personality by their dress. It can be the fashion trend or mood. Very good. That was a good one. I think it's very difficult to understand someone's personality by their dress. It can be the fashion trend or mood. Okay, yes, very good. Very good. That was a good one. Good job, Anju. Good job. Others? Comment? Okay, let's move on to the next question. What color would catch people's attention most? What color would catch people's attention most? This is a simple question. For catch, you can use the word grab. No, I don't think we can judge someone's personality by their dressing. It depends on their character and attitude towards the other person. Oh, okay. So you're saying we can't judge it on the basis of how they're dressing. It can be judged only by their character, attitude, and attitude towards other people. Right? Is that what you're trying to say? It can be judged only by looking at their character and attitude towards other people. So character and personality are almost similar things. So you can say it depends on, can be judged only depending on, it can be judged, personality can be judged only based on their attitude towards other people and what they do and how they talk and things like that. Try to put it in that way instead of putting it together. Otherwise, there is a ambiguity. It's not clear. Anjuel, though, that's a good question. I think bright colors, especially red and blacks, catches the eyes. Okay, catches, grab, catches the eyes. Okay, that's fine. You can also say grab the attention when compared to light colors. If you want to make it longer, you can say when compared to light colors like blue, red, blue, white, gray, ash, etc. You can add some more points. Otherwise, it's good. Very good. Shamal and Anju, very good answers. Now we're moving on to part 2 again. Next set of questions. Part 2 questions, next set. Describe a sports person or athlete that you admire. Here, they've not mentioned. So some students tell me like, it's hard when we are asked about things that we have no idea about. Some people are not into sports at all. They have no idea about what sports is or who all are the famous sports people or athletes in it. So in that case, what will we do? How will we answer these type of questions? You know what we do? Here, look at the question. Describe a sports person or athlete that you admire. The question is not describe a famous sports person or athlete that you admire. As long as the question is not about a famous sports person, you can use an imaginary name and talk about your friend or talk about your neighbor who was an athlete or sports person. You can simply talk about them and you can add some points on why you admire them. Yes, Shyamal, I see your answer. I think the bright colors are more attracting than light colors. For instance, most of the brides are wearing red or maroon color gowns to be the center of attraction, not get the center of attraction, to be the center of attraction. Very good. That's a good one. Good answer. So try to answer this question. So you can create an imaginary character and you can talk about it and add some points that you think a person would need to be admired. Okay? Try. So first thing what you do is the first two sentences. Sports person, athlete, admire. You can say two sentences on sports person or sports. You can start by saying, if you're not into sports, you can start by saying, sports is something that I'm not so much into. I actually don't know a lot of people who are sportsmen or sportswomen or athletes. Even the famous people are not very much known to me. You can say two sentences like that. Sports play a very important part in everyone's life and every person has their own admirers. No, here is how you would say those two sentences. Sports is very important. Yes, that was a good choice. Talking about sports first and then moving on to sports person. Sports play a very important role in everyone's life and every person, you can add everyone. And everyone has their own choices or everyone admires different people, all right? Or different choices when it comes to admiration or admiring a people. You can say that part is wrong. Every person has their own admirers is wrong. Okay? Each person admires different people, or each person has got different likes and dislikes when it comes to whom they really admire and whom they don't. Or each person has got their own choice when it comes to whom they admire and whom they don't. Something like that would have been better. So you're talking about sports, sports person, athlete, admiration. So you can talk about sports person and admiration together. You can say a sentence like this. I'm not very much into sports and I don't actually know a lot of sports people or athletes, but I know a few of them who were in my neighborhood and who were with me in school, and I really admire some of them. I don't admire all of them, but I do completely admire some of them. One such friend that I admire so much is a neighbor. He's also my friend. His name is Ram. He's a high jumper, and I admire him so much because he's such a hardworking guy. I have no idea about high jumping or how it's done or how much effort has to be put into it and things like that. And also, I first thought it was an easy thing to do. High jumping was really easy. That's what I thought at first. But then I saw his discipline and I saw the way he was putting in so much effort into working towards his dreams. That made me realize high jumping requires a lot of effort. He showed me how difficult it is to be a good high jumper. because I saw the kind of work he was putting in, the kind of work he was doing. He would wake up at almost 5 o'clock in the morning every day, would go for practice and would keep on practicing his high jumping with some kind of band, or with they have some kind of equipments that they use to practice their high jumping. So he would practice with that for 2 hours straight. So I saw this for like about 2-3 years continuously. So that showed his perseverance, discipline, hard work, and all these things. And who wouldn't admire a person who is so hardworking, who's so disciplined, and who's so perseverant and consistent? He would work almost every day. Not almost every day, I should say. He worked every day for his dream, and that's helped him to. And next, I'm moving on to the next part. Who is this person? I explained that. What is his achievement? Why do you admire? Why I admire him is what I said second. And now I'm going to talk about what is his or her achievement. And that has helped him to get really good grades for the competitions he went for. And he even got first in national level thrice. So these were the prizes he got. So this was all the result of the effort he had put in so far. So he's one of those people that I admire, and who happens to be a sports person as well. Okay, this is how you explain. I have some answers here. Today, I would like to say, you can avoid that. This today, I would like to say, sounds a bit odd. So you could go for something like, did you see the flow in which I took it? I have a friend who was a sports person and who was a high jumper that I admire the most. I just started off it with something like that. Today, I'd like to say about Kavya, who plays kabaddi. Grown up in a village, who grew up in a village and struggled a lot, even for the practices. After learning from her, I got interested in kabaddi. One interesting thing about her is the amount of work she is putting in this sport, and able to teach others. With this spirit, team was able to win their district kabaddi competition in Kerala. So you have to explain why you admire. That point has to be clear. You can explain that more so that your answer would become longer. So today I'd like to say about Kavya. That part today can be changed. And you can say, I have a friend who is Kavya, who is a kabaddi player, and I admire her so much for the way she has come up from the village life, and who has struggled a lot to practice after learning, who had to struggle a lot to even practice, full stop. Then start a new sentence. I became interested in kabaddi after learning it from her. I became more interested in kabaddi after learning it from her. That sentence has to be changed like that. Then the most interesting thing about her is that, or one of the interesting things about her is that, okay, the amount of hard work she is putting in the sport, and the way she teaches it to other people, or the way she teaches others. With this spirit, with her sportsman spirit, her team was able to win inter-district kabaddi competition in Kerala. Very good try. I would say it was a really good try, except those small mistakes that you made, and you have to make those corrections. Otherwise, it was well and good. So good. Okay. So today we discussed part 2 questions and a part 3 question. So I hope it was all clear and it was really helpful to everyone. We'll meet again in the next live on Wednesday at 6 p.m. Until then,